All right, guys, welcome back to the original subscriber game. This is the first iteration of our community stepping forth into the world. and honestly, like, according to my wishes, we started in Australia, which I think we can all agree was a mistake. uh, I mean, it's very defensible, which is nice and all, but it took us a long time to make our way to the mainland of Asia. But we did it, by golly. We did it. And so now that we're here, we find that we are brushing up against the dominant coalition right now, which is the Central Europa Union. And turns out that it may be in this game that we began our association with Popcat. I don't know if that's how he learned of us, but he is now a part of our community, 1914 Universe, and he's in a couple other subscriber games as well, or at least one other. But anyway, regardless, I was able to reach out to him and just say, hey, we're coming up into here, and we can either have a really bloody, sort of terrible situation in which in which we would lose, by the way, or what we could do is we could direct our attention north and east into America, and potentially somebody like Java over here could attack into the Middle East and into any territories that are not claimed by Central Europa. So I do know that shot caller over here of the African Coalition is going to be a problem. So if we attack westward, I saw the word east, westward into East Serenica, we're going to have to contend with that very powerful African coalition. We do know that a lot went back and forth here. A lot of gold marks got spent. So Bitro got wealthy. And good for them. You know what? This is a great game. I love those guys. Good for them. Hundreds, in my opinion, probably like hundreds of dollars were spent. I don't know, in actual, currency, or, Deutschmarks, or whatever the hell kind of currency is going down. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video, really the main point of this video, is going to be, we now have a treaty. So let me go ahead and just, on the video, so that we're clear on this, let's talk about the conditions of that treaty, because it's a good treaty. It's very reasonable. So here we go. Let's read this together. Both of us agree to this, the Central Europa and the Universe. We will not invade coalition's members, obviously. Like, that's number one. So we do not attack anybody in Central Europa. In provinces where we have contact with each other, only 10 soldiers can be stationed. I think that's a great idea, because there's nothing worse than that sort of arms buildup where you're stacking and stacking and stacking. I think this is a great idea. So please be aware of that. Those of you in my coalition, please be aware of that. That's probably the one that if we make a mistake, it will be there. So just don't stack the borders. There's no need for it. Those troops can be used elsewhere better. So, and then we're going to expand east against Alaska, and they won't help them because there is the Alaskan Nightmare Coalition. And when they expand to Africa, we're not going to help the African Coalition. Okay, so that's straight up, like, 100%. We're just, not only we're not going to attack each other's coalition members, but we're also not going to support or aid enemies of our coalition. So that seems pretty straightforward. I like it. It doesn't get real proprietary in terms of, like, you can't go here or you can't go there. We're not telling anybody where they can go or where they can't go. And by the way, their coalition already has a presence in, you can see this is Central Europa here. They have a presence in America. So, but we're not saying, hey, you can't go into America. They've got a big presence. There's Central Europa here as well. Big Booty Coops is part of Central Europa. Now, here's Alaskan Nightmare. So I think a lot of these are Alaska Nightmare. Yeah. as we move through here. So it looks like Northeast America is already Central Europa, and that's fine. That's, great, wonderful. But this right here is Alaska Nightmare. So Alaska Nightmare has come over and down and is now pushing up against our territory. So let's see if South Ussuri, who is part of Alaska Nightmare, is at war with any of us. West Amazons. Nope. I don't know who West Amazons is, but it does look like right now we have South Borneo, and he is at war with, yep, just various Asian communities here. So this is a recalibration. This video is going to be a recalibration. I'm continuing to fight here into this really stubborn bastard of an AI. I mean, he didn't start off as an AI, but he's an AI now. The guy's left, but my God, he's been tough. But I'm taking him over, finishing that up. But what's happening is my factories are maturing to the point now where they can start churning out air. So I'm super excited about the air. I just want to remind all of my partners, all of my brothers, make sure you have airfields for your own, Air Force. And as long as you have Air Force, positions for yourself, then we can all use those too. So just make sure, and I'm trying to do that too. And again, if you're active in the air, then you'll make sure to have, airfields throughout your territories. And as long as you have that, then everyone else can use them too. So just try to stay up on your game in terms of air potential. Keep those airfields coming. They're not expensive to build. I think it's like 2,000 gas or something, right? Like they're not super. Oh, I went ahead and clicked on one that had an airfield on it. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? So yeah, to build an aerodrome, you need 2,000 gas and 2,000 wood. So most of us can afford that. So try to pepper those in there and just let them develop as time goes on, because it does look like our next big enemy, and it's a big enemy, is going to be Evil Nation over here of the Alaskan Nightmare. So after I finish this off up here, I would say that South Borneo and Darwin and South Borneo again. Yeah, that's us on the northeastern side. South Borneo, Darwin, and I think need to really sort of join together and start pushing in that direction. And, take these AIs as we go as well. And as we go, let's try to be really careful about not stacking our borders with PopCat. Again, PopCat is one of us. And let's not have any illusions like, he will crush us if he has to, but like the thing is, like, they can be the number one coalition. We could be the number two coalition if we play our cards right, so this is a situation where coalitions can work together. Now I have reached out to Shot Caller here and talked about some alliances here, but we have not finalized or made anything firm. So all I can say is, I think we can leave that alone. I think we can leave that to the big boys over here in Europe. What we need to do maybe is stack our borders against Shot Caller, because he is a tough guy. That's a lot of territory he controls, and we know that he's willing to spam Goldmark. So what we'll probably do is just stack against him. But for the most part, if you are over here, which is Java, and Java, by the way, is a monster. Java's got a lot of territory. Java, if you want to come on down here, ooh, that's Shot Caller too. I'll leave it up to you, man. Like if you want to attack into Shot Caller, you can. I would say though, for the time being, maybe just stick with some of these closer territories in here. If you're in terms of expansion, what you're trying to do here. New York to Dave over here looks like he is getting attacked as well. So yeah, I mean, you guys know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying is that in terms of large scale planning, I do think that South Borneo, Darwin, and I should start moving northeast and into, across the Bering Strait here and into Alaska and into North America eventually, as we make our way through Northeast Asia. While at the same time, those of us who are sort of in this corner of the world, and also I would say too, this does include Otago, who Otago has some serious naval strength. So Otago, if you have Navy and if you have people that you want to be peppering attacks down through East Africa here, that's fine too. So really, we do have some options. We have East Africa and South Africa that we can attack into. Um, Pretty much, the African coalition is going to probably, yeah, all of these guys are going to probably eventually be enemies of ours. So just be careful if you're Java, if you're Otago. Um, just be aware, be careful. Esperance, yep, is now up here. Um, just be conscious of the fact that what we're doing now is expanding north and east over to Alaska and into North America, and then potentially in this region into the Middle East. And then we're being really careful about East Cyrenaica. Again, if I was one of our Western players like Java, who else is over here? I think we got Java and Esperance. Yeah. Esperance, by the way, if you can choose, you're kind of in the middle. You can choose to come northeast with us or attack west and south with Java. And that might make more sense because your capital is here for you to have, holdings in the Middle East. But what I would say is I would not attack Cyrenaica until they attack Cyrenaica, until Central Europa attacks down into Africa. So when that happens, when they attack down into Africa, and it looks like Popcat will probably attack down into here, into the, because that's just closest to him. At that time, you could conceivably sort of take these coastal territories here and then attack into Abyssinia and some of the other African countries. But again, I leave that to you. Java obviously does not need any game advice from me. He is dominating this game. I believe he's probably the number one, if not Darwin. It's probably a close race between Darwin and Java in terms of just kicking ass in this game. But anyway, that's sort of overall strategy ideas. We are attacking north and east into North America. And if we can get a little bit of Africa, we will. We can get into South and East Africa as well. Just be careful. This is a powerful coalition down here. If we look at the coalition map here, we can see that they are actually in second place here. Now, we're not far behind them, but they are in a nice position. So, and Central Europa is playing it smart because although they are in first place, they can clearly see that if Africa and the subscriber game joined together, we would be their equal. So really what's happening here is the reason we're not doing that, and we'd be more than their equal actually, but the reason we're not doing that is that we do have that relationship with Popcat here. And, that's worth a lot, honestly, like the whole idea of trust. You never know who to trust in this game. But, Popcat is my ally in the multiverse right now. So those things matter. Relationship matters. The idea that you can trust somebody matters. So honestly, what's probably going to happen is towards the end of the game, we probably will have a showdown between us and them, and they'll probably kill us. But to me, like, that doesn't even matter. To me, the fun of this game is it's the diplomacy, but it's also the growing and once we start having stacks of 1,000 or 2,000 infantry, that's just fun. It's just fun. And big air forces flying around, like, it's just cool stuff, man. And that's what the 500 game is so good for, even though it takes months to play this goddamn game. It's really cool because it's like you really start to move around big forces. So if we can attack into Northeast Asia here and all on into the northern United States here and Canada, that would be fun. That would be super fun. We'd all of us would control much larger, and then of course if we can get into South and East Africa as well. super fun. Now, I will say Otago, I haven't really had a lot of direct contact with Otago lately, but yeah, I wish I could. I wish I could just highlight his units so I could see where his units are on the map, and I cannot do that. Um, oh gosh, I need to start trading as well. Although, I was trading with Esperance, home territories for Asian territories, but now that Esperance has his capital in Asia, I may start trading with Otago. I think I'm going to do that. I may start trading some of these over to him because it's so close to his capital here. But, just wanted Otago to know, like, there's some stuff over here you could attack. West Amazons, it looks to me like, has no capital even. Yeah, they have no capital. So, if Otago wanted to, and again, I don't know anything about the status of their power, what their navy looks like or anything. But Otago could make a bid towards South America, which could be a really sort of power move. I don't know. Clearly, I do not know. All right. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. This is our flagship subscriber game, the very first one that we tried. And we're still going strong. I'm loving it. And I also love that we did make a new friend here in Popcat. I might be wrong about that, but I think this game is how he learned about our community, and he's been a really vital part of that community ever since. If you go over to the Multiverse game, you can see he's kicking ass over there as well, and we're glad to have him on our side in that game. So, all right, guys, thanks for checking in. I'll see y'all next time. Adios, mi amigos.